We've been talking a lot this week about who is allowed to access certain books as another Maine school district considers pulling some titles from library shelves. A group of parents in MSAD 6 is asking the school board there to remove 2 books from Bonnie Eagle High and middle schools in Standish. The books deal with sexuality and gender identity. Some say amount to pornography. Others say they contain important information for kids who might be struggling. Now, this push to remove books is part of a trend happening across the country. On the extreme side of that trend, there's a new law just enacted in Missouri. It means people, including school librarians or teachers, who distribute restricted material could face big fines or even time in jail. Frances Watson has more.
Books are and always have been a gateway to the past and the future.
Missouri Senate Bill 775 calls for a limit on reading materials in public and private schools. Members of the Missouri Library Association's Intellectual Freedom Committee say this wasn't how the language of the measure started out.
At the kind of last second, this part that would affect libraries, school libraries specifically, was added.
Outlawed are books containing anything that is considered sexually explicit, with the exception of those considered artistic or informational in nature.
This new law going into effect is setting up my generation for failure.
Katara Flockstra is a junior at Nixa High School.
It's not allowing us to get multiple perspectives. It's not allowing us to know about some of the harsh realities, know about some of the stuff that happened before our time.
Recent Nixa High graduate Nicholas Youngin says school curriculum is already limited.
You're not taught real history in school, and it's annoying. Like when you find out, like, oh, that's not what we were taught. It's, why haven't we learned this? This is important.
The loudest voice, the only voice, is this voice for censorship.
Penalty for breaking the law is a Class A misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail and a $2,000 fine.
Unfortunately, it will be enforceable by school boards who are making that decision.
We reached out to some of the largest districts in the Ozarks, all of which declined an on-camera interview to discuss their policy for handling this.
Books are not the place where the only place they are being exposed to complex and challenging issues.
By removing these books, you're actually sparking more curiosity about them.
Yeah, take away books. We have the internet.
By taking away the choice, you are removing a student's ability to maybe find something that represents them and that may help them learn more about themselves and their own personal growth.
Again, that was Frances Watson with that story. Now back here in Maine, the MSAD 6 school board is set to vote on whether to remove the books It's Perfectly Normal on September 6th and Gender Queer, a Memoir on September 19th. Both books have been challenged in Maine schools before. In May, the school committee in York voted to keep It's Perfectly Normal on shelves after a member of the committee asked for it to be removed. Gender Queer was removed from RSU 56 in Dixfield just a few weeks ago after a school board vote. Now, in the meantime, there do seem to be plenty of people who want to read that book. The Portland Press-Herald is reporting most copies at libraries across the state are checked out right now. People who support keeping these books available to students have argued no one is forced to read them because while they're in libraries, they're not part of the curriculum taught in classrooms.